Good Thursday morning, everybody, and welcome to H2H Live. We are here to have a lot of fun today. Kyle Carpenter, right here. We're back. I'm Matt Trotz. We are running slightly without the head honcho today. We'll bring him on in a little bit. He's at home today. He's got a little bit of a back issue.
Yeah, he's been suffering through it. I know how he feels, man. This is plastic, but if it was wood, it would get knocked on.
Did he?
Good. His is not.
Did he tell you the same thing he told me? Why his back hurts? It's from carrying all of us.
Carrying all.
Yeah, he's constantly carrying all of us. So again, good morning, everybody. So we've covered in the last two head-to-head podcasts. We started out with just kind of a season overlay. We talked about the anglers, the matchups, the lakes. We'll get into more in depth with the lakes. And then last week we talked about what would you say? How would you phrase last week's show?
I don't even remember it.
Competitiveness, ferocity.
Yeah, we went through rules and we talk about a lot of stuff.
We do talk about a lot of stuff, but I think the angle that Brian was going for last week was just you got to bring it.
Yeah.
I mean, for head-to-head, it's always been basically the mentality is lose and go home. And we kind of modified that throughout the years, but you got to come in it with a winning mentality. And with the Meet the Anglers, which we have again tonight at 5 p.m., we have Ryan Foster and Mike Lewis joining us. We try to get that out of those teams.
It's tough to get out of them sometimes.
It really is. The angle. What's your angle? We've talked about, do you have to have, and are we referring to them as dinks this year or just 1 pound spots?
Dinks is always going to be a thing.
Dinks is always going to be his thing. And do we have
It's actually in the tiebreakers.
Oh, and then you got your home run spots, right? You got your 3+ pounders, right? For the walleye side, it's 1 pound is the weight limit.
Yep.
And then the bass side, it's 2 pounds or bigger, right? Is the weight limit?
Yeah,
Correct. Again, and you can find all this on H2HFishing.com. So today we want to get into the tiebreakers.
Yep, the tiebreakers are going to play a huge factor this year between should we see if that honcho's available?
Yeah, and what a good way to talk about winning and the mentality of tiebreakers. Let's bring Brian Keller in. He is available.
Look at that.
Jesus. Good morning, Brian.
Front and center.
I don't think anybody wants to see that.
We love it. We love it.
We had a lot of ideas last night on how to bring you in. Talon had the idea of the screensaver where it bounced around the screen the whole time, but this one was better.
It might be better than this. This is kind of scary. It's scaring me.
Yeah. Well, we just wanted your picture to be as big as your mentality is sometimes.
Hey, fair.
Matt's full of burns today.
I'm rolling, baby.
He's full of them.
How's the back today, Brian?
It's progressively getting better. I'm literally sitting here at the ice machine on it right now.
Oh, you got the cooler thing running?
Yeah, I got the little ice maker right here pumping through it. So it's getting better slowly. If anybody's ever had the back issues, it's really bad. It's no fun.
Who's that walking in the background there? What you got rolling on there?
Well, again, timing's terrible. We've got they're putting some window tint on our windows in my basement. So this is where the setup is, and this is when he was available. We're not going to cancel anything. We just keep rolling.
It works.
We keep rolling.
Make it work.
So
keep it rolling.
Because your issue, you're not joining us tonight for Meet the Angler, right? It's Kyle and I hosting that one.
Yeah, it's the only time my PT guy could fit me in was at 5 o'clock, so I'll have to catch up after the fact.
Yeah, we need you healthy.
We got this, man.
Yeah, we got her. Hey, so Brian, we kind of recapped. I'm sure you heard of the last couple of shows, and what would you say the mentality was for last week's show?
For me personally, the last week's show is really about the mental shift I think these anglers are going to have to go through in order to be successful with this format. And that was kind of the thing with the Meet the Anglers with Ted last week too, is just, I think pre-fishing mentality is going to have to change. I think, just overall mentality is going to have to change as a whole, just going into everything as far as number of spots. Where are my spots located? I've only got 4 hours to fish. I can't make 45-minute runs between my spots anymore. I think all of that's going to have to change, and it's going to have to the anglers that figure this out are going to be the guys who are really going to kind of rise to the top.
Yeah, and again, like tonight with Ryan Foster, he's one of the OGs. He fished the very first walleye format that we did. And again, in that time, it was 5 days and 5 hours of fishing, where now it's 1 day, throughout multiple weeks. What is it, 9 weeks of the regular season?
9 weeks of round robin. Yes.
9 weeks of round robin, but we shortened at it. We shaved an hour off. So instead of 5, it's 4.
4-hour matches, yeah.
And, so often we hear the mentality from the anglers as they get off the water is, dude, it was mentally exhausting. Well, now with that shaved hour, that's going to be even more mentally taxing on the anglers. And Brian, you kind of mentioned last week that was, not purposely, but in a kind of in a way, that was your mentality by shaving that extra hour off.
Well, I thought the extra hour kind of was twofold. Number one, I think it's going to make the anglers really, really dial in a program. Like we've seen in head-to-heads in the past where there's those longer bite windows and, maybe the bite doesn't happen till 10 o'clock or noon or 1. Well, now with us fishing AM and PM, the anglers are going to have to fish the bite that's available, not necessarily the bite that they want to fish. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be kind of a struggle as well as this goes on. It's really freaking me out. Andy's moving my head around on the screen. But no, that's cool, man. We're just kind of doing all this on the fly. It's awesome. So I think with the 4 hours, it's really I think that's a big thing, Kyle, is they're going to have to fish the bite that's available in that window, not necessarily the bite that they want to fish.
Well, compared to a normal 8-hour day, which most tournaments are, you have time to make mistakes in a day. Like you have time for a bad decision. Wow, we can go, let's go check this section as bass fisherman mentality. Let's go check this section of 30 docks and see if there's a dock bite going on because I got confidence in these docks. You don't have that time in 4 hours. It's a totally different mindset. That's where Brian keeps driving the point home that it's more of a game than it is a tournament because the game is, I can't make any mistakes. I need to make sure I put the pressure on early. I have all these things in my head where in an 8-hour tournament, normal tournament, you have time to make the mistakes. You don't have that time here.
Yeah, it's almost like.
Well, think about it, Kyle. And sorry, Matt, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll hit my point after you're done.
Okay, I was just gonna say, think about it, Kyle. From your standpoint, you fish an 8-hour derby. Like you said, you got that long stretch of docks, and you might say, okay, I'm gonna give this an hour. Yep. Right? Well, now you're going into it and 5-6 casts, you're gonna be like, oh shit. What's going on, right? Like, I don't have an hour. I got like 15 minutes. This has
we either
got
to move faster or abort. Yep. If you go to your most confidence dock, right? Like I pull up to this dock and don't get a bite, throw motors up, we're rolling. We're out of here. I think we're going to see a lot of that this year. I think it's really going to, 100%. I think it's really going to mess with guys' minds big time. That 4 hours is, I think one, it's going to really pressure them into making decisions fast. Right? And we don't want guys to see, this is the other thing I like with the 4 hours and being just 1 day events now was the 5 day events, guys are always saving fish, right? Like I get a little bit of a lead. I can save my fish. I got to come back here tomorrow. I got to have fish for 4 days in order to win this thing. Where now I think only fishing every other week and then typically not in the same spot or same location, maybe on the same system, but we're, 20, 30 miles away or whatever. I think we're going to see them just the fireworks right away, which is going to be better for TV, right? Like that's what this is all about, is for TV. And I think making the 4 hours, making them fish their fish that they can catch right away because they can't get behind, is just going to make for better viewing for the fans, way more exciting. The other part of the 4 hours that I think comes into play is trying to balance out the 1 pounders on the walleye side, 2 pounders on the bass side, to the guys who want to catch 5 fish, the big 5 type of mentality. I think that 4 hours is going to equal that out a little bit. Time will tell if it's right or not, but I do feel like that will really play, as the time will allow either guy or either team. I keep saying guy. We have a awesome lady fishing the walleye side. Keep those teams kind of letting them do what they want to do. I really think that 4 hours is going to make a big difference.
So is it like in an 8 hour event, And in the MPFL, actually on championship day, it turns into longer than an 8 hour.
11 hour day.
There's almost like, not really a halftime, but there's that halfway point where like, okay, but you think about it with that halfway point, I still got potentially 4 hours. I know I have a head-to-head match left. I have 2 head-to-head matches in one day. But now you're halfway point at 2 hours. Like, talk about scramble mode. You don't have as much time to like really. So like you guys are trying to say, and we're hitting on this, every second count, every move has to be calculated.
I just thought of this while we were talking here, is there's a whole nother side of the game that I don't think we covered yet, is the AM PM match, the strategy of being AM. Like, I assume some of these teams in the walleye side, not so much in the bass side, because it's culture in the walleye side, is they may team up, right? They may work together.
I was going to ask that.
It will happen. It's the walleye side. Everybody teams up, and that's fine. I think it's dumb, but it'll happen. And I was honest in the way I feel about that during the PWS as well. Mm-hmm. So you may see some strategy with teams of, we're in AM, I'm in PM. Hey, we're on the same fish. Hey, let's AM, don't burn them down. Or complete opposite, if X team knows that Y team's on the same fish, they're AM, they're PM, they're going to burn them down. Which, it goes back to your point, Brian, what sprung it is, you don't have to save fish in this. But that game could come up, and I feel it will in the walleye side, where somebody's going to burn down a school of fish in the AM that's going to affect a team in the PM, especially on Lake Winnebago.
I want to get into something with you saying that. So when we do these meet the anglers, which again we have another one going on tonight at
That's 5. A good question to add to the walleye side. Are you guys teaming up with anybody?
It really is, because like yesterday, and I thought it was, or not yesterday, last week's meet the angler, I thought it was funny. We had Ted Miller and Cody Solberg, 2 guys that have fished together, not in a tournament side, but fished together.
Right.
Well, before I had to take off to get to the my parents' night for my son, I was talking to Ted Miller off camera. And I know, Brian, you really tried to hit this point home with Ted Miller. Is like, what is it like? Obviously, you were joking around. You're like, let's throw up the Jeff Nectarline counter.
Yep.
Because his name was brought up so often. Well, I was talking to Ted about it, and Ted, probably you can be mad at me, but I'm like, what's it like? You guys are really good friends, like a lot of these anglers are, both sides of the docket. What's it like? And Ted's like, we're buds. We're going to be buds until that boat hits the ramp and that boat's in the water.
When they're against each other.
And now we're like, you're a competitor of mine. And that's what the mentality we kind of want to get out of these guys with these meet the anglers is, how do you set those two aside? But now you're saying, like, on the flip side, with their relationship off the water, will they work together? And now, Kyle, as we're going to get into the tiebreaker portion of it. Now, again, all this stuff with the new format, with the creation of the new tiebreakers and stuff, it's all on H2HFishing.com. You can follow along with the rules. We're actually going to bring the website up here in a little bit. But what is the rule with talking on an event day? Can they not, if they are a team, if they are working together, can they communicate between AM and PMs?
Anybody active in the tournament can communicate as much as they want.
Okay.
Yeah. So that, yes, to answer the question simply, yes, they can talk.
So if they're like, hey man, this spot right here was loaded, go back there PM. That's something that's information they can, if they choose to.
Yep. If they're active in a tournament, they can communicate.
Okay. All right, and that's going to be really interesting to see how that all plays out. Like you said, you don't have to lay off fish, because we're not really on the same body of water the very next day.
Right.
It might be the next week.
The next week, and the world changes in a week in all these fisheries.
Yeah, especially in spring of the year.
I think, Kyle, you keep saying that's only going to affect the walleye guys. I think you could see that happen in the bass side, because everybody thinks they have a bunch of secret spots, but everybody fishes the same crap.
I agree with that, but I'm saying the team side of it. You won't see 2 teams. You won't see Team A and Team B work together. You won't see that in the bass side.
Right. No, I agree with that. I think it's going to be the opposite. The PM guys better know where the AM guys are fishing so they don't go there, is what I think is going to happen.
Well, I mean, they're not going to know because they can't watch.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like I know your spots, right? Like, let's say we fish together all the time. I know your top 5, top 8 spots. Do I know that I'm fishing in the afternoon, you're fishing in the morning? Because these guys know each other. They've been fishing against each other for 10 years or whatever. do I just stay away from that stuff, right? Like Dave on the Fix chat said, the 4-hour time limit's going to really put a great emphasis on successful pre-fishing.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that's huge because this is the best going to be the guy really program in, and they're going to be the guys to be successful. You're going to have a hard time just going out there morning of and figuring this out.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's get into the tiebreakers, but before we do that, let's talk about what Brian just mentioned. So Fix TV is obviously the host platform for all head-to-head. Majority of, the events this year, all the events really, we're on Facebook right now. So what we're going to do is if you have any comments, we want you to do us a favor, sign up for free over on Fix TV. Again, we're just going to be honest with it. This helps support head-to-head. This helps bring new and better events, new content, so on and so forth. It's free over there on Fix TV.
Free. I just put it on Facebook on the chat, and I got a bunch of negative smiler crybaby faces. It's free. it's free. It's like 10 extra keystrokes and you're on there.
Let's just talk about this for another second. And I think we're just going to keep hammering this home.
It's free.
We are doing nothing different than Bass or MLF. You don't get to watch Bass or MLF on Facebook, right? You have to go to the MLF website. You have to go to bass.com, bassmaster.com, whatever, to watch those events. I'm not shying away from it. Those are the cream of the crop, top of the food chain, whatever you want to call it. They don't go live all day long on Facebook or YouTube. Why? Just because we did for a while, because we didn't have a system or a different website to do it on, because of COVID and how fast all this stuff grew. I don't understand why we're held to this Facebook, YouTube crap. Nobody else does it, right? So, like what we're doing this year going into head-to-head is we're going to be live for a half an hour or so on like pre-show with Kyle or whoever, doing interviews, getting all the pre-game stuff at the launch. Then we're going to come back to the studio with Matt and I, or Matt and whoever, or me and whoever. And then we're going to basically go to Lines In, and we're cutting over to Fix TV. It's just how it's going to be.
Yeah, Bassmaster
so just create your free account and go watch it.
Bassmaster starts it exact same way. Exact same way.
Yep. Well, and we're going to do the same thing for the MPFL this year. I was talking to Brad about it last night. We're not doing anything different. That's industry standard. I don't understand the grief. So instead of going to headtoheadfishing.com to watch it, you're going to fix.tv to watch it. It's no different than going to majorleaguefishing.com or bassmaster.com. I just can't comprehend why this is such a crisis.
He's on, if you look behind us right now, he's on Proficient Angling. This is a show that we produce in-house, and there's 3 new episodes that just dropped, and all 3 of them are bangers. There's one of them that from OHIV that you got to watch.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But yeah, it's
and people just honestly, the Pro Fishing series is kick ass. I'm really glad we got that thing up and running. We got a whole bunch of new episodes in the works. It's going to be awesome. But if you look at, like, people just need to kind of like see the landscape of what's happening here, right? I mean, the NFL's running shows on Peacock and Paramount Plus, and Amazon's Thursday Night Football already. Do you think this is going away? I mean, Amazon spent $100 million last year to have a Black Friday game. Do you think this is going anywhere? Right? I don't know. Again, this isn't football or whatever, but that WWE, right? World Wrestling and Entertainment type stuff, signed a $5 billion contract with Netflix yesterday. Monday Night Raw is going to only be on Netflix. Okay, now you can sit there and be like, oh my God, it's just stupid. It's just where it's going to go. You're either going to not watch anything, or you're going to figure out how to download an app and watch it. It's just the way it's going to go. We're a couple years ahead of the curve, I think, personally, which is good. But, like, just come on. Like, this isn't even really that hard.
Cody Hansen asked on Facebook if we can show how to find videos on Fix TV. Cody, it is very, very simple. All you have to do is log on to Fix TV through Google, however you want to get there. It's going to ask you for a sign up. That's nothing. You don't have to put a credit card in or anything.
Yep.
And it'll take you right to them, every tab, just like YouTube, just like Netflix, just like everybody else. There's things that
it's actually closer to like the HBO Max app,
right,
than Netflix. But it's very, I mean, if you've been on any of those apps, it's super simple.
Yeah, they're super easy to follow.
it does give you an option for $5.99 to get rid of ads. Totally up to you. I don't really care. Get rid of ads. Don't get rid of ads. That's up to you. No different than Hulu. Pay more money if you don't want ads. That's how it works. But there's a little continue button underneath that. You just continue and you're free, and everything on the website's accessible. All the Proficients, the American Crisis series, all the MPFL stuff. We're working on getting all of the past head-to-head stuff out there.
Yep.
A bunch of it's already out there. Maybe it's not 100% of it, but a bunch of it's there already. I mean, we got a lot of new stuff on the way coming. This multi-view, guys, I'm telling you, when people see the multi-view, they'll get it. Because we can't do this kind of stuff on YouTube or Facebook. When you get to see 6 or 8 cameras all at one time live, super easy. And then the other thing was with the old fixed stuff, sometimes it was kind of hard to find what was live. It was in a little category or whatever. When you go to the website right now, like, it's front and center. You can't miss it. It's like literally live on the screen when you go to fix.tv.
Yep. All right.
Perfect. Well, that's where, so as we get into tiebreakers, that's where I wanted to say we will be feeding in, monitoring your comments. On the Fix
definitely.
TV side. So anybody on YouTube, Facebook right now that
we're watching them, obviously.
Yes.
But we will answer direct comments, direct questions from Fix TV only.
On Fix TV.
Unless it's something like Cody asking how to get there. That's good stuff.
Okay. Tiebreakers.
The Real Shot is Wisconsin's #1 independent outdoors retailer that specializes in open water, hard water, and Great Lakes fishing, as well as hunting, archery, and firearms. We've got the top products from the brands you love most, priced like the big box stores, and paired with friendly hometown customer service. Stop in at The Real Shot today or visit us online at therealshot.com.
About 115-ounce dink, that's your winner.
That's your fish. Yep.
That's your winner. So bass side, same thing. All these rules or all these tiebreakers go bass and walleye. They're not separate. They're all the same for each division of the league. So the biggest targeted species is a big deal. You have to weigh every fish.
Let's just talk about that for a sec, Kyle, because I think, everybody loved the Dink Fest. Everybody wants overtime. And I think for us, it's important for everybody to understand that, like, we can't really do like a post-game overtime like most sports.
Right.
I mean, if you really think about it, we've been live for 4 hours. We're still tied for 4 hours. This thing could go on all day, right? Like, you got to have a way to finish this. And what started with Dink Fest being after the fact, or then we kind of put it like where if it was tied with like 45 minutes to go, we had all these different things. we just decided to put this into this first one where you catch one at 8 in the morning, it counts, because we wanted people to be able to continue to fish their programs, whatever that may be, all the way through the full 4 hours. We didn't really want to shut the show down for the last 45 minutes or whatever to try to all of a sudden now we're going to go chase a dink. I think we can't go on forever. We've got another show coming on in an hour. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's been 4 hours and they're still tied. This thing could go on all day. Mm-hmm. So that's why we kind of moved it up to be any fish caught during the whole 4 hour time period.
Yep. So, like I said, every one of these is going to be crucial, because if we get to number 4, that's going to be a hell of a match that day.
Yeah.
To be honest, like the fans are going to love the fact that we got to number 4.
Right.
And I'm excited to see how far down this list we can get each time, because there's going to come a scenario where we may have to add a 5th, where we're forced to add a 5th. And that could happen. We spent hours trying to figure these out.
Yeah.
And there's going to come a time, I'm sure, because anything that will happen. We'll force
I don't even know what we would add anymore.
I don't either, but.
Well, and we
most miles traveled. most miles traveled during the day.
Right. Well, you'll have guys just driving around when they're tough bites. So
and like in the past, we've had that happen. Like we thought of everything.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, shoot. Like, what is...
And we were still flipping coins in the parking lot.
Yeah.
The coin flip
nobody wants
that. I don't ever want to do that again. So the second one is the biggest dink. So a dink is defined as anything that is not a official catch. So on the walleye side, 1 pound or more. So 16 ounces. So when the scale hits 1 pound, that is a scoreable fish.
Yep.
Bass side is 2 pounds. So the smallest or the biggest dink up to 15 ounces.
Right, because it becomes a scoreable.
We're going to leave that dink the same for the bass side, just for consistency, so you guys commentating don't have to worry about, is it 1 pound, 15 ounces?
Whoa. Are you calling Matt and I simple?
Yes, very.
that we can't know if it's a bass or walleye.
You got to remember, Andy Cleveland's going to be a part of this, so we need to dumb it down.
I thought he was just trying to call us dinks.
Dumb this down.
I did not understand that.
Andy, if you're watching,
I don't know about you, Matt, but I've heard worse.
Yeah. So the biggest dink up to 15 ounces. So obviously, if that fish is 1 pound, it's not considered a dink.
Right.
So if the team catches and we've seen matches, champions in head-to-head win by 3 ounces, a 3 ounce dink counted.
Yep.
So if you catch a 3 ounce dink right away in the morning and you don't weigh it, you throw it back. You catch a dink, you know it's a dink, I'm just excited to get fishing, you don't weigh it, that could come back to bite you in number 2 right there. So every fish that you catch needs to be weighed.
Yep.
Up until you hit your 15 ouncer. So if somebody goes out with a team and catches a 3 ouncer, they can upgrade their dink up to 15 ounces throughout that match.
Throughout the day.
They don't just have to pick one and go with that one. So they could go from a 3 to a 5 to a 7 all the way up to 15 ounces.
So now we often ask the anglers, like, is the weigh live going to be a factor? Is the weigh live going to be a factor? Brian, can you talk about this? Is that dink going to also be shown on the weigh live so they can kind of know, let's say their match is tied, will they see what their competitor's dink is at that point?
Yeah, it'll show them their competitor's largest dink.
Well, if it says dink, not dinks.
Dinks, right? That is hilarious how you phrase that. Yeah. Again, there's a mind F right there. I mean, you're darn close, but he's got the bigger dink.
Sorry, Nikki, but I don't think you can win that one. But yeah, the biggest dink is, and this is why we wanted to keep dink as in there, because it's built into the tiebreakers, and since the first head-to-head event, dink has been there.
It's been there.
I mean, okay, I'm not gonna call TG a dink, but a dink kind of created it, right? He's laughing. He's laughing, I'm sure. And if he's not, I don't care. So biggest dink up to 15 ounces is the second tiebreaker. Anything else to add on that, Brian, Matt?
No, I think it's awesome, man. And if anybody watching this, like we're just having a good time with this. This is meant to be fun. It's meant to be a great fun show, right?
You're going to see a pattern throughout head-to-head this year, and that is
have a sense of humor. It's okay.
Yes.
It's okay to laugh. It's okay to get picked on. Like it's okay. It's okay. I know it's 2024 now, and comedy's supposed to be dead, and you're not supposed to do a lot of this. I just don't care. We're just gonna have a good time.
Ted Miller just sent a really funny chat on Facebook, but we're not going to read it out loud because he needs to go to Fix TV. We explained to you last week how to get there, Ted.
I like Dylan's comment on Fix. He's like, that sounds dirty.
You're gonna see a trend with head-to-head this year.
Yeah.
We're going back to how it was in the beginning, right? Like 2019, 2020, early 2021. Free-spirited, let's have fun. Nobody's really safe.
We got to stop Matt from falling asleep in that last hour.
Well, you just can't bore him.
Well, that was after 5 days. I mean, the thing about it is that was one reason. Like, we've had some great commentators here at Head to Head, but that was one of the reasons we wanted Andy back.
Right. Andy and I, like,
you
two together are...
we're not pacing carrots.
I can't wait. I'm actually going to be a cameraman for most of the events. I can't wait to hear you guys in my ear on what you're going to say next.
All right, so number 1 was biggest target species caught during that match. Number 2, biggest dink up to 15 ounces. Otherwise, it becomes a scoreable.
Yep. Number 3, total number of target species caught to include dinks. So that is, on the walleye side, that is every scoreable walleye. If you have 6 scoreable walleye and you have 12 dinks, how many is that?
It's like 18.
Math. Seymour was tough, but I think that's carry 18.
Yep.
So that would give you that number. So it's total number of dinks caught, total number. So you, again, weigh live matters. Entering your dinks caught matters because the anglers will have to do that in there. And then also your scoreable fish.
Scoreables count as well.
So them are going to matter. That is the number 3. Now, if we get to that one again, it's going to be a hell of a match. There's going to be a lot of fish caught.
That is, and we can potentially see this in the very first event. March 27th, Fox River De Pere. Again, H2H Fishing has all the information on this stuff.
Yep.
All right, we're weighing up dinks. We're counting our dinks and our scoreables. Now we're on the number 4, which is the one I sounds like you're most potentially excited for.
Yeah, definitely.
4-4.
4-4. Yeah, I'm definitely 4-4 this. The number 4, Brian's just like, why did I hire these two dimwits? Anyway.
I'm still trying to get over Matt's Belichick shirt he's got going on today.
No, this is, the apparel came in.
Oh, I know. I get it. I like it. Yeah. I like it. You were just so fired up for
that one doesn't have a hood. That's not the Belichick.
No, this isn't the hoodie, bro. This is the collared shirt.
That's the professional one.
Yeah, I didn't order.
It looks good, man. It looks sharp.
I do. I like it. I feel like I'm a frat bro.
You're high and tight.
Visor.
You're high and tight today.
Got the haircut last night. Looks good.
Molly trimmed me up.
After next week, you'll have some skin tone. You'll be tan.
Yeah, dude. I'm hoping we can get some sun. I'm looking at myself right here, and I'm like, I'm basically invisible.
You are pretty pasty.
You're all covered up.
That's why I wear black. That's why I wear black. So number 4, the final tiebreaker in the round robin championship bracket. So these 4 are regular season, and then these 4 have nothing to do with the tiebreaker to get into the top 8.
Yep.
So these 4 are during matches to have a winner for each match. First target species entered into Weigh Live. Dinks included, timestamp for Weigh Live. So the first fish you catch.
The Real Shot is Wisconsin's #1 independent outdoors retailer that specializes in open water, hard water, and Great Lakes fishing, as well as hunting, archery, and firearms. We've got the top products from the brands you love most, priced like the big box stores, and paired with friendly hometown customer service. Stop in at The Real Shot today or visit us online at therealshot.com.
For their first event. So it was kind of a calculated risk, and yeah, it's not ideal. I would recommend just deleting the old app for now, and then when the new app's available, you can re-download it. If you want to keep the old app, it will automatically update to the new app once the new apps are released. It's just kind of a messy little in-between period here, but I really wanted to make sure we had that multi-view for the first NPFL.
Yep, definitely. So round robin, everybody clear on that? Everybody knows them. Everybody understands them.
Yep.
I'm going to have to go back to this to make sure. Every match.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And the nice thing is, Waylive is going to, we'll be able to open up the app on the backside, or for like I'll be able to see, and we'll be able to see, you guys will be able to watch along as commentators. We'll know prior to the match ending the winner and the loser, more than likely, and I'm sure you guys will be talking about
we'll know in real time.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So that's the round robin championship bracket tiebreakers. Hours and hours and hours of conversation went into this. Hopefully we got them all. Hopefully we didn't miss one. It will not surprise me if we need to add a fifth somewhere throughout the year.
Yeah.
I don't even know what we'd use, Kyle.
I don't either.
Well, let's get the chat fired up while we're talking about the playoff bracket tiebreakers. What are potential scenarios, chat, and what are some tiebreakers that maybe we didn't even think about?
Right.
You know, because we don't go length on anything. It's only weight only. So, like, you can't really add a length portion into it. And remember, like, with all this, it's not the camera operators doing this like we've had in the past. This is all in the teams. The teams have to do that. And the other thing that we've talked about is, are we going to see, like we have again in the past, a net man? Are we going to see a weigh man? Is somebody so dialed in on the cast that day that you might as well put your rod down and just hold the scale in the net, because that's going to be your job for the next 4 hours.
Putting in the 2-minute penalty for not entering your fish into Waylive is a benefit to the anglers.
Yep.
That is there to remind, hey, Dumas, put this in, or we got to stop fishing. That's going to help us. That's going to help with Waylive. That's going to help with the team make sure that they're putting the stuff in there, because the tiebreakers are going to matter so much.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's another.
Well, and like any other, it's the official scorecard. Like, right? Like, I don't know what the penalty is in the PGA, but I know there's a penalty if you go to the next hole and tee off before you enter in your previous hole score.
Yep. So Andy, if you go back to the website, there's a 5 more tiebreakers that are basically to make win-loss record, eliminate the tie in the win-loss record. What are you laughing about?
Nanny eating contest.
What?
No, Ted goes, rumor has it Jeff's Meet the Angler podcast, he's making some kind of whole grain snacks for you guys.
Oh.
Hey, he got on Fixed TV.
Yeah, you get it. Yay!
So I'm not, I don't know, man. I mean, we're gonna have to boot him if he brings whole grain stuff in. I don't think that's okay.
He might want to eat healthy, but I agree with Ted. 5 o'clock is when
you can't.
feed.
You gotta step it up, man. Ted brought brisket
tonight at 5 o'clock. There better be something on this table. I mean, I'm just saying, Foster, you say you're a busy guy, but there better be something coming. Otherwise,
because it was Ted Miller's Massive Meats was last week, and we're gonna see.
Matt, you missed out, dude.
I smelled it before I left.
There's a piece on the table there if you want to eat it. It's like jerky now.
Damn, that was some good shit.
It was.
Russell in the fix chat also said lowering the minimum size from 2 to 1 will likely eliminate a lot of the previous tie issues, and I totally agree with him. That's why we did it. Totally agree, especially for Winnebago.
Yep. All right, win-loss. There's 5 of these now, so like I said, these will determine who gets into that 8, the grade 8, to make the playoff bracket.
Yep.
So if there's a tie, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, hopefully that's the case, then we go to these. If it's a straight out win-loss is the first one. If you have more wins than the person in 9th place, you're in 8th place, you made it.
I was just thinking of like post-game interviews. Like, are they going to be like NASCAR? Well, the boat ran well today.
Ran that burger up and down. There's something burger.
Well, I think it's absolutely what they're going to be. Because the pregame interviews are all like that too.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody's really good. I totally, got all these awesome matchups. I'm meeting everybody at peak time.
Yep. This Dobbins Rod really, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stop.
I felt the teeth.
I'll stop before I offend somebody.
You can't offend anybody, Kyle. It's impossible.
Yeah, this one would have.
We just made that rule.
This one definitely would have.
Now you got to say it.
No. Okay. Number one.
Can you text it to me?
Number one in the win-loss record is total weight.
I want to know now.
From the 9 round robin weeks. So total weight from the 9 round robin weeks. Again, goes back to Brian's point at the beginning of this. You don't want to lay off fish, because if you have the ability or the chance to put 100 pounds on the scales, you better do it. Well, because number one right there gives you the reason why you better do it.
Right.
Why you better not lay off. Because if you lay off for your team, your partner, everybody thinks they're going to win their league, right? But if you guys are battling for 8th and 9th, you're going to be really pissed at yourself that you gave him the ability to put 85 pounds up when you only put up 60 and you could have put up 100.
Right.
The other thing I really like about this is it kind of protects you a little bit from those bad beats. And what I mean by that is we're going to see it this year where there's one match where it's like 32 to 34. And then the guy had 32 to 1 every other match that day.
Yep.
Right. Like we've always seen those matches where like this one match just blew everybody else out of the water, and then all of a sudden the other match the guy won with 9 pounds.
Yep.
Right? Like it's not going to stop you from getting a loss, but it will kind of help you as the season goes along if you have a couple of those matches where you would have blown everybody else out.
Absolutely. That was always brought up. Every
100%.
Head-to-head event we had.
Yep.
PWS has brought up.
I think it happened.
Daily.
I think it's happened in every head-to-head event.
I agree.
Well, R.I.P. Mike Hansen. Mike Hansen was on me every day about that. Literally, like every day about making a change for that, and he wasn't wrong. So here it is.
Yeah.
So number one, that will be your first tiebreaker to get the grade 8. Number 2 is total number of target species caught in the 9 round robin weeks to include dinks.
Again, it's important.
Again, keep stacking them up. Don't stop catching. Because if you end up in a tie with number 1 and he beats you by 1 fish and you laid off, you're going to be upset.
So and that for them on Way Live is just a click, right? Like It's just like having a counter in the boat. It's just on the app. So you hit that +1, +2, +3, whatever.
Very simple. We'll go through it with everybody. If the anglers don't understand it, it's going to be 100% their fault for not asking.
Yep.
Because we're having a media day here. We're going to be talking about all these things. We're going to talk in the morning of every event. Like the chances for the anglers to understand this is going to be there.
Yeah, and that was one that you brought that up. February 10th. It's not like we're not really opening up to the public, but all 20 teams will be here on February 10th. That's a Saturday for Media Day, like college. So if you're in the area and you want to stop by like the Real Shot area and chat with some of these guys, they'll all be here for the most part. Most 20 teams will be here on February 10th.
Yep, that's a Saturday. So again, number 2 tiebreaker, total number of target species caught in the 9 round robin weeks, to include dinks. So every target species you catch, bass or walleye, whatever division you're in, is going to count.
Yep.
Somewhere it's going to count.
So there's a question on the fixed chat. It says, will the tiebreakers also be applied for the top 8 seeding? So just to kind of clarify, before, when you said, Kyle, that on the website it's got the standings and then those tiebreakers, these are the tiebreakers we're talking about currently. It's not the round robin championship tiebreakers on the website. These are actually the season grade 8 tiebreakers that are listed on the website.
Yep.
So they're 1000% what will constitute the top 8 for seeding.
Correct. Yep.
And we are seeding at that point, right? That's when we're seeding. That's when it goes back to 2019, 2020.
As we get going on the standings will be your 1 seed through your 8 seed.
Yep.
Those are your seeds for the playoffs. Like, we're going to know all year long, like, if the season ended tomorrow, here's what the grade 8 day 1 bracket would look like.
Yep.
Okay, third one. Biggest target species from the 9 round robin weeks. So the biggest walleye caught, biggest bass caught of that.
The Real Shot is Wisconsin's #1 independent outdoors retailer that specializes in open water, hard water, and Great Lakes fishing, as well as hunting, archery, and firearms. We've got the top products from the brands you love most, priced like the big box stores, and paired with friendly hometown customer service. Stop in at The Real Shot today or visit us online at therealshot.com.
That was the third. So the third tiebreaker is basically the biggest fish from the 9 round robin weeks.
Right.
The fourth, biggest single day weight from 9 round robin weeks. Again, if you have the ability to put 100 pounds on, put it on there, because it just continues to add up. We are going to see ties. The ties are going to happen. I'm fairly confident there's going to be a tiebreaker. These tiebreakers are going to get used to determine who's in 8th. So keep putting them up there. Don't stop putting that bag up. And then the fifth and final one, and then we'll kind of recap and talk as a group here, is first scoreable targeted species caught in the round robin weeks. So your first scoreable fish from event 1 is going to matter.
Yep.
Could put you in the grade 8. We feel this.
Wouldn't that be something?
Oh, man. It would be awesome that all of our work of these tiebreakers was worth it.
Right. It would have to go through 4 other ones to get to that point.
Correct.
But it's still.
Hey, man, I did not ever think I'd be flipping a coin in 2021. And I flipped a coin like 5 or 6 times. And every time I flipped it, 2020, that was, yeah. Every time I flipped a coin, I threw it in the bushes. Like, I was not happy.
Really? You just left it there?
I was not happy about flipping a coin.
Well, that's not how anybody, I mean, you pull way too much work and energy.
Having to tell 2 guys or an angler that just busted their ass, especially on Friday, the final day. Yeah. It sucked. So that's why these are what they are. That's why we put so much time into them. On and on and on, why these tiebreakers matter.
And once we're into the bracket, is that lose and go home?
The bracket is
into the playoffs.
The playoffs is
Playoffs.
Oh yeah, dude, it's a tournament, man.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's the part I always loved about it, right? Like you have to put up or shut up, right? And that's the part of H2H I always personally thought was the best part.
See, and the thing I hated about the old 5-day events was that original seeding. I never liked it, right?
Yep.
And we tried everything. We tried randomizing it. Oh my God. Remember the selection shows were kind of cool.
Yeah.
But the matchups were usually just completely unfair or just plain out stupid. And then, it was just random luck. And I think there was certain tournaments where I know certain anglers went home in the first round that didn't deserve to go home in the first round, which is where I think Mike Hansen was always on Kyle about these bad beats and whatever. Yep. Well, this whole bracket, this whole season completely gets rid of all of that. The grade 8 will be the guys that earned it over 9 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, there's no arguing anymore. There's no arguing about seeding anymore. It's going to be a true 1 versus 8. And that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, the more we talk about this, like the reality of it, not only being right around the corner here, but it's like, damn, when we went away for 1 year, we were on a break for 1 year, and we had to rethink all of this. And this is like this is the end results, and I'm like, dude, this is freaking exciting. If you don't get jacked up, and if you're one of the anglers and you're not jacked up to be on this, like you could almost call it a pioneer season again, you're missing the boat, literally.
Yeah, every angler that I've ran into and talked to, and they're all excited.
Do you encounter any anglers that are pissed that they didn't get in it?
Oh yeah, yep.
Like, I mean, at this point, if you put this out there, we're like, okay, not even started the season, we're going to run another season on top of our season. Could you fill it, both sides?
Oh, absolutely. I made a comment, was it the first week, that I didn't think we could fill a bass event or a league on the bay. Boy, was I wrong.
Oh, really?
Absolutely, 100% wrong.
Whoa. Can we get Andy, can we get a counter?
Hey, I'm wrong.
Kyle just admitted he's wrong.
I am wrong every day. Just ask my wife.
Clip that one.
My wife will tell you I'm wrong.
Yeah. Wow. So if we all of a sudden,
here, holy shit.
If you said tomorrow we're opening up a bay event,
fill by noon.
Based off of this format, people are that stoked already.
Both walleye and bass would fill by noon.
Just wait till we get out of Wisconsin.
We could run one of these in Detroit on the Detroit River and then fill in a 25 minutes.
That's the number one comment we see on our social
25 minutes
media.
It would fill
when are you guys
Detroit
coming
River.
back to Detroit?
Yeah.
You know what we could do? Hey, we could set a little viewership challenge, and if we get to a certain level on Fix, we could always spawn like a 1-week league.
Or
cool, Brian's thinking again. That's awesome.
He's not even in the
I'm just looking at Kyle's face going, dude, shut up.
I'm fine with it as long as it's Monday through Friday.
As long as what?
As long as it's Monday through Friday.
No, right, that's what I'm saying, but it would have to be like a certain amount of teams, they round robin it over like 3 days and like a 2-day bracket.
Over my head.
Yeah.
What a dang.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, that's awesome. Literally. That's the first horrible dink right there.
Is there any grudge matches?
Oh God!
Like I got one. I'll call Colin out right now. Let's have a grudge match. Like I want a rematch. I'll do it. It'd be fun. I think.
Would we have to do it on the body of water the beat came on?
He can pick it. I don't care.
God damn, that's actually.
I say we pick it We meet here, we pick it, and we drive to it. No practice, just go.
See, I think we just now. Would you be willing to? We've either got a crowdfund source that, or we don't have an unlimited funds of sponsors here, right? So I'd be totally down for that if we can get our cell data covered.
Yeah, grudge matches would be a cool thing. As the year goes, maybe these teams that already met each other
want to call each other.
There might be enough animosity or shit talk where they want to do it again. We want to rerun this. Let's rerun it. Well, how much money?
Just brainstorm it out.
I watch Street Outlaws a lot, and them guys. It's the same type of thing.
Play for pinks? Are we playing for pinks on your boat?
They grudge match all the time.
Yeah.
For $2,000, $5,000, $200, $500, whatever. You daddies, some of them grudge match for you daddies. If you lose, every time I ask you, you got to respond with you daddy.
Oh, really?
How much fun would that be?
Jeez. I like the grudge match idea. That's awesome.
What's Foster want? He's picking on me.
Were you gonna say something, Brian?
No, I think that would be awesome. And honestly, Kyle, we could totally do that. We just use the autonomous cameras.
Yeah, we definitely can.
Oh, yeah.
We
just
full
just
ability
from
to not need a cameraman.
Well, and it wouldn't be like we could run it. We could run 3 streams on the site. We could have one from each boat plus like a mix or whatever, and then just no commentators kind of thing. Just keep the cost down.
You know, I would think Aquatraction would probably want to see a match between one of their guys, Colin Martin, right? For the advertising. You'd think they'd pay for that.
See, now this is what we've talked about with Kyle Carpenter on tournament day. This is what you're getting to witness it live.
Oh, I love it.
This is where the chat talking starts. And this is the mind F. I've played bags with Kyle before, like this bags, just so we have to clarify.
Really?
He's a straight up mind F-er. Like, you'll get in your brain.
It's so much fun. I live tournament mornings. I have more fun in tournament mornings than I do. Well, I should say sometimes. Like 2-day tournaments are a little different. Single day, like Angler's Choice type events, I'm there to have a good time. If we catch them, we catch them. If we don't, I'm still going to pick on you when we get back. Still going to talk to your wife. Still going to have fun. But yeah, nobody can get in my head either. It's a steel curtain. Nobody gets in my head.
Yeah,
because I'm in my own already.
Yeah, the grudge match is an awesome idea. I like the grudge match. So there you go, everybody. That's the tiebreakers. So that was. I'm glad we did this. This is really. And feel free while we're kind of wrapping today's show up. If you have any topics for next week's show,
send them in
drop
the chat.
them in here. We're here every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you have any topics that we haven't brought up yet, we have to go through a lot yet. There's still a lot of these Thursday morning shows, but we're always open to answer your questions again on Fix TV. So throw them in there. Tonight we have Ryan Foster, Mike Lewis. I'm excited to meet Mike Lewis. There's been a lot of chat on Facebook and our messenger saying
seems to be pretty heavy favorite.
Yes, there's a lot of former H2H competitors that are saying this potentially is the team to win it all.
Yep.
And that's a pretty bold statement as the water. We haven't even fished yet. So that's tonight at 5 o'clock. Kyle and I are back in here again with Ryan Foster and Mike Lewis. Again, we appreciate everybody going to Fix TV. See, Ted got there.
He got
it. Not that hard. Remember,
if Ted can do it, anybody can do it.
Free to sign up. We're not charging you. You have the options to pay if you want to. I know, like, when I've been watching a little bit of the stuff on Facebook, all of a sudden it gets to the great part and a freaking ad pops up. It's super annoying.
Yeah, I just watched an ad a couple minutes ago when I was talking.
Don't watch the ads. Just go over to Fix TV where they are a lot more tolerable to deal with. So I got nothing else. You got anything else?
I'm good. If Brian's good, what you got?
All good, guys. Good show, man.
All right, you too, Brian. Feel better, buddy. Hopefully we get to see you.
The Real Shot is Wisconsin's #1 independent outdoors retailer that specializes in open water, hard water, and Great Lakes fishing, as well as hunting, archery, and firearms. We've got the top products from the brands you love most, priced like the big box stores, and paired with friendly hometown customer service. Stop in at The Real Shot today or visit us online at therealshot.com.